Hello Voodoo family. Today we will speak about lighting, camera and sound settings. The lighting is actually one of the most important settings considering the final result of the rendering of a 3D project. Then we will speak about rendering in the future, but basically the concept of rendering is exporting what a virtual camera is pointing in its own view, like taking a photo or taking a picture or taking a video. Okay. Then today we will do the job of the photographer in 3D space. Then somehow this is like to have, when you work in 3D, it's like to have, an endless studio where, with infinite space and of course infinite light. You can put as many light you want and you can create them. Now we will see how to do. Now, then the concept of photography means photography is the word photography comes from the ancient Greek. In Greek, photographe means to write with the light. Then somehow, the job of a photographer is actually capturing the light and the shadow. Then in taking pictures is actually pointing our attention most of the time more on the shadow than the light. Let's say that when you see a picture, by considering where the shadow goes, you can understand where the light comes from. Then somehow, let's see something I share. Sorry, I'm in the wrong. Okay, we'll go there later. Okay, I show you some picture here. I took some picture I searched from a photographer that I really appreciate. He's a fashion photographer, but mainly he does portrait. It's called Richard Barbridge. He works with very different kind of light set. Okay, mainly in photography and film. We speak about, when we speak about light, is all about high key lights and low key lights. What is the difference? Okay, then this is, for example, that picture is a low key light picture. Why low key light? Because on the subject, actually, there is mainly one only light that is projecting very dark shadows. Okay, then when in a picture you see a lot of dark shadow, that is usually a low key light, and mainly is made by one light on the subject and no other lights around. The same photographer took this picture, which is very different than the other one. You see here there is long, strong black shadows on the face. Here there is no black shadows. Okay, this is a high key light situation. When the shadows are bright, it's called high key light. This situation is made minimum with two lights. Then one is the key light and is actually doing the same thing as here. Might be different the direction, but the key light is the principal, the first important light, the main light on the set. And then here there is also another light which is called fill light, is filling the shadows. And then somehow we have this impression to have a brighter image. That's why it's called high key light. This is a picture from Miles Aldridge, and this is a high key light situation made with 3 points of light, where we can see a key light very strong that look like the sun. Okay, and now we will speak about different kind of light. And this is actually the main light. There is a key light that make these shadows bright, otherwise might be black. And then there is another light. You can see it on the back of the hair. This is a backlight. Okay, this is classic in the TV news, for example. You always, and this why they use it a lot in TV news, because usually they have green screen or they have other screen, then just to disconnect, let's say, like to create a separation between like the subject and the background. The backlight is used for that. Then usually this is like a studio light. Okay, you might have seen it in some backstage and stuff. I mean, I have a studio full of that stuff. Mainly we can see different kind of lights. Okay, the light can have different quality. Okay, can be very strong and direct, like our sun. Can be a light which is diffused, for example, and is diffused with the frost. It's called like this softbox. Okay, this is like I don't know, like when the sun goes from the window and there is a white curtain, then and usually it's diffusing the light very well in the space. And then can be other lights, for example, the umbrella, which is a light which is bouncing and reflecting somewhere else. And okay, then let's see. Usually, okay, this is a standard 3-point lighting, for example, is a high key light, of course, because there is more than one. And let's say this is the subject. It's very similar to this situation. Here, for example, in the glasses, we can see even a softbox reflecting. This is the fill light, actually, that is reflecting, is actually feeling the shadow of a stronger light that project very strong shadow here. Then usually when you have a shadow so in focus, means that the light is thin and strong, or is the sun, or most of the time it's called the lens. It's called Fresnel, because there is a lens in front of the light and allow you to put the light in focus. Now, when we go in 3D, all these things we can create out of our, out of some instrument we have already. Okay, now here we have what we have created the last time. We have 2 backgrounds again, we have 2 aliens, we have some accessories that we don't see now because they are switch them off. Okay, that's the thing we have done until now. Now what we need is, okay, it still look like a piece of plastic white without, okay, now to make it real, first of all we need lights, we need the camera point of view, and then I will show you how to put sound as well. Now, okay, here you can see, here we are. Okay, this is what is our 3D structure. I will keep only one background, probably the bulky one, and then I will take only one body just to have fun with light and see what happens. And okay, usually to see light you need to go in render view. Okay, now this is not the render view, this is the 3D view. Okay, and to go in render view, here you have the material view, here render. Okay, if I press render, you see that here is pretty ugly and pretty grayish. Why is everything grayish? First of all, one important thing is always the ambient light. For example, even in a studio, usually in a studio when you have a light set, you switch off everything and you keep it completely dark and you put some light. But sometimes this is not possible. Let's say that I want to shoot here in the house, but I want an extra flash. Okay, I want to add another flash. Then I will deal with the light of the flash and the light of the house. Then this is called ambient light, which is actually reflecting everywhere, exactly like in my glasses now. Then this ambient light is inside a panel that is called world. Now this world is actually gray. You see, if I change the color of this world and I put it bright, it changed everything. And this is actually the world color. Now, to play with light, I would like to start with black. And then we put it like if we switch off everything in a room and there is no light, like if it's night without moon and, completely dark. Okay, let's see what happens if I add a light. First of all, I did already a light and camera setting here, that if I switch on, I can show, you see, you can move light and you see how the light behave. Okay, this is a point light, but I want to start from scratch. Then let's switch off this and create some new. Okay, what I can create, still as always, we can create anything by doing Shift A. Sorry, I forgot shortcut. I will start the shortcut. You see my shortcut here. Then Shift A, and I can add in object mode, of course, Shift A, I add light. You can put 4 kind of light. As I said, point usually is point, light, spot and area, the kind of different light. And the sun, why the sun is different? Because the sun is very different than any light because of its power, is a star, then, and his sides is a very pointy, small, little point in the sky that has a very strong power. Then its behavior is different than anything else. Let's start from the first. Okay, if I put a point light, you can see that we can move it as any other object, and we can see that we have a light panel while we click on the light. If I click on an object, I don't have light panel because there is no light. If I click on the light, I have the light panel where I can see the color of the light. For example, I can put blue color, green, red, I can put any color I want. I can put the power in watt, then for example 200 watt light, okay? And look, this is very important to understand how the light works. You see, around this light there is a bigger sphere that is the radius, okay? Look what happened in the shadows. While if the light is very thin, the shadow will be more defined. You see? Like 0 meter radius is like the sun, okay? If I increase this, the shadow is much less. It's like, have you ever seen this little light, you know, usually in the kitchen, or there is also for cinema these big white balls where there is a lamp inside. What the ball does, the white ball around the lamp is diffusing much more, then the light becomes less aggressive, and then the shadow itself is less aggressive. Okay, then this is a point light. I use them a lot actually in Blender in 3D. Actually, this is something that in real life is very hard to find because it's a light that goes 360. Then supposedly not to have not even a cable, you know. Then, but okay, then this is very hard to find, but very useful because it makes a very good light. You can create or change the light also from this button. Let's say that I want to transform this in the sun. I can put sun, and you see in the sun is very important where the light goes, and of course 200 as the sun power is too much, and this is behavior a bit similar to the sun, okay? And then I can create a spotlight. Okay, the spotlight is something more similar to what we can find probably in a studio. Let's put more power, 200 watt again, because the spotlight is like you have in theater, in concert. Okay, the spotlight has a radius as the other one, then small radius, strong shadow, big radius, smooth shadows like this, and also has a sides. Okay, then for example, if I make a very thin sides, I can make a laser, because the laser is actually a light, a spotlight that has like a very sharpened angle. Then it's very thin angle, and then it goes straight. You can blend it or not around the circle that it does. Okay, like in a theater, for example, you will have something less blended. If I blend it more, it's more like diffuse. Okay, then and then you have Aria. The Aria light is actually very similar. I don't know if it's still open. Sorry. I don't know if it's still here. Yes, the Aria light is very similar to this softbox. Okay, let's see how it works. For example, if I put Aria, I will have an Aria light, and I can rotate it and put it wherever I want. You see, and the behavior is exactly like a softbox. Okay, and even here you can change color and everything else. Okay, now let's switch off, let's remove everything and make a light set. Okay, an interesting light set. Now I would like to try a high key light set where there is a light, you know, a key light, a fill light, and a backlight. Okay, then mainly let's go and okay, let's remove our room at the moment, our background, and considering where my subject is, I will put 3 lights. Then the first one will be Shift A, for example, an area. Let's put an area light to make okay, rotate X 90. We put the light. Okay, you see where the light is pointing. This white line is where the light is pointing. Then this might be probably a fill light that I will put on that side. Then I will create a new one. Shift A, point light to make a strong key light. Probably we put it a bit from the top to project a bit of shadow under his face. Let's see how it's gonna work. And then probably we put another point light to make the backlight from the sides. Usually, if you have the key light from the left, from the right, you put the backlight from its own opposite. Then one from the right, the other one from the left, like they see each other, let's say from top. Then if I go from top, this light will go here, this light will go from its opposite. Okay, then let's see how it works. This I will move it to point the shadow, and let's see how it works with the power now. Okay, then this probably I will put it a bit up as well. And now we see in the dark what happened. Okay, the light is not enough, you see. Then probably we have to play with the power of this one. Let's put 100 watt to see. You see now, if we see from front, we have this shadow, a bit light but not enough. Then it's still a low key light. Then we take our own Aria Light, which is here, I can see it. And probably I can scale up because my subject is long. Then I will make a long light. Then I will scale S on the Z, the light, and then I will put a bit more power. Usually the power, sorry, not 500 but 50. Okay, usually the power of the fill light can have different ratio with the key light. Okay, then usually you can do 1 to 1, then they have the same power, or usually you can put half power than the other one, etc., etc., until you like the effect. Now, for example, is the half power, because this is 100 watt, this is 50 watt, and this usually the backlight is stronger than both of them. Usually in terms of stop, which is like the unity we use in photography, is 1 time more than is double time than the key light. Then let's try to put 200, and exactly, you see, this is the effect we have with the backlight. Now, all this light will be much better when we will apply texture on it. As you can see, my glasses reflect differently than my skin and differently than my shirt. Why? Because they have different material, and of course, something reflects, something is transparent, something is absorbing. It depends by the material. Then it will be much better next time that we start texturing this alien and everything else. But it's still already a good starting point. Now, what we miss is the point of view. What I am exporting of everything I see. I will export my own NFT, watching it from here, or from front. Let's make the thing easy. And let's take a camera that is pointing from front. Then how we can generate a camera, Shift A, camera. This camera usually appear, with this orientation, 68, blah, blah, blah. But what you can do is pressing Alt R, and then the camera will point down. It's called zenithal, okay, 0, 0, 0, okay. Then we rotate, now we bring it back with the Y, and now you see this is indicating where is the top of the camera, where it's pointing up. Then we rotate along the X90, X90, and now the camera will point in front. Okay, if you want to see from inside the camera, inside your, you press on the numpad, the number 0, and then you go inside the camera point of view. This is what, actually, sorry, no, I have 2 of them now, because I created already one before, then I remove everything I created, sorry. And then now if I click on this and I do I do 0, I will go inside the camera, and you see the border, the frame is yellowish. Then what you can do is, by clicking on the camera in the outliner, you can change the position in X, Y, Z, okay? And then you can frame your image, and then at some point, if I press now rendering, I can see that, for example, with my background, these might be annoying. Then we can replace things until we like them. Probably this light has to come a bit closer to us, and then when we will have the texture, we will see if this light that we have done is good or we have to change something. Okay, then Now, okay, the last thing. Now, this is how to set and to place things, to place lights. We can change a bit of the colors. For example, it's very nice to play with complementary colors in the light. Sometimes it's nice to make a backlight a bit cold, and for example, the key light a bit warmer, okay? Or, you know, you see then, because it's creating a contrast. And yes, then let's see the sound. The sound works in the same way. What is very interesting is, for example, that, okay, the sound, it makes sense only if I will export animations, because you can't export sound on images. But let's say that I want to put that sound in some sort of autogen script. Then somehow what I can do, I can associate different sound for different aliens. Then, for example, I will put inside the body, I can create the body one with one sound and the body two with another sound. I'm still developing this thing, and I'm still you know, experimenting on that way. Now I show you how just to put the sound and what you can do with it, which is very interesting. Okay, first of all, I will create my light set collection just to make order. Then I will call it light set. Oh no, sorry. And then inside I will put all these things like the camera, the lights, and everything is gonna be inside here. Okay. Now to put the sound is the same thing. Actually, you put the sound in the space, and it's very interesting, this thing, because you can also you can also animate the sound. Let's say you have an object that passes in front of you. You can associate the sound. You attach the sound speaker on that object, and while it's moving, it's creating exactly the effect of a car passing through. You know, then the sound, you feeling, you know, you hear the sound getting closer and then going away. And it's very interesting, this. Or you can put sound going around the camera, and then at some point you will have this kind of Dolby surround or 360 sound effect that you can do. Okay, how to do it? You shift A and you do insert speaker. Then you insert a speaker. Then as you insert a camera or sound in the center of the world, where you have the cursor, you will create this object, which is emitting sound. Let's point it to the camera, rotate Y 90 degrees, and then now it's look like it fits next to us. What we can do with the sound is, while you have the speaker selected, you go in the sound panel and you can open something. Now, I previously prepare something, and I prepare inside our workshop. Now I show you, wait, you remember we had our workshop project, human cosint NFT. I prepared a sound folder where there is two different sounds. One very nice for alien, which is this bit noise. I open it and show you. That's the funny sound. Okay, let's see how to put it there. Now we just can browse from here to here. You can also, in Windows, is very interesting, click on this bar, then you copy all the path, and then you go back here, you do open, and then you click, you copy and paste, you paste it here, and you will find it. Now I did it already before to prepare the class today, and then I will click on bit noise, I will open the sound, and now you see under now this timeline here under the viewport, it starts making sense, because if I play, you should hear. I don't know why it doesn't work now, for some strange reason it doesn't. It should, probably for the setting of the computer. This is not very nice. Wait a second, sorry for that. Because it is working, but doesn't show up for some reason. Let me see. This is because of the streaming. This is because of the streaming, because the sound is here and it will work when you will try at home. Then somehow this is how you can put the sound inside. Then if, for example, I want two different sound for two different alien, I will go in the body, create one collection body 1, one collection body 2, and I will put the speaker 1 in body 1, speaker 2 in body 2. Then when this two body will be placed with other things, even the sound will arrive and will come out different. I'm sorry you can't hear it from that, but the problem is that when we stream, you know, most of the channel audio and video, sometimes they make a different path in the computer and they get lost. I'm sorry for that, but it will work when you try at home. And what you can try, and it's very interesting, is, and I will show you when we will do animation, is to put that sound and, for example, keyframe this speaker here by pressing I and say, okay, keyframe the location, and then, for example, 50 frame later, you move it the other way and you press I and you put the location as well. Then in this 50 frame it will move, and then while by pressing you will hear the sound going from one side to the other side. Thank you very much. Next time we will speak about textures. Then this light will have more sense because you will see how to manage materials, and everything will start looking more real. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye bye.